My dear students, Namaste. Good morning to you all, and also welcome to another session of our mathematics class. In the previous session, we have learned real numbers and their decimal expansions. Hope you have revised well. And in today's session, we shall discuss how to represent real numbers on the number line. Let's move on to the topic. Let's discuss how to represent real numbers on the number line. In the smaller classes, we have already learned how to represent integers on the number line. For example, negative numbers, 0 and positive numbers. And also we know how to represent decimal numbers which is rounded to one decimal place to represent on the number line. For example, 3.2, 5.3, 6.1, etc. And in this chapter itself, we learned how to represent irrational numbers on the number line. Example, root 2, root 3, root 5, etc. And in today's session, we will learn how to represent real numbers on the number line. It is an easy topic, so directly we will solve some questions. Exercise 1.4, first question, visualize 3.765 on the number line using successive magnification. Here the given number is 3.765. Here 3.765 lies between 3 and 4. It is quite clear for us. So let's represent the normal integers on the number line first. Minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 we have marked. And of course we know 3.765 is in between 3 and 4. That means in successive magnification, in the next step, we have to mark only 3 and 4 in the number line because 3.765 is in between 3 and 4. So let's represent these 3 and 4 only, and we will divide between 3 and 4 into 10 divisions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 divisions. And it is quite clear that between 3 and 4, if we have 10 division, means the first part is 3.1 and the second one is 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9 and finally 4. Again, we have to locate 3.765. It is quite clear that 3.765 is lies between 3.7 and 3.8. Because here 3.7 starting number is 7, so surely it will be in between 3.7 and 3.8. That means in successive magnification, in the third step we have to represent 3.7 and 3.8 on the number line, and we have to divide between 3.7 and 3.8 into 10 equal portions. That is 3.7 and 3.8 we have marked, and between 3.7 and 3.8 we will divide it into 10 portions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Since we have started with 3.7, the next digit should be 3.71, 3.72, 3.73, 3.74, 3.75, 3.76, 3.77, 3.78, 3.79 and finally 3.8. Again we have to check our number. It is 3.765. So 3.765 lies between 3.6 and 3.77. So we have to locate these two numbers, 3.76 and 3.77. So in successive magnification, in the next step we have to represent 3.76 and 3.77 on the number line, and we have to divide the portion in between 3.76 and 3.77 into 10 equal portions. So we have marked 3.76 and 3.77 and we have divided 10 equal portions in between these two numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And we have started with 3.76. The next one should be 3.761. The next one is 3.762, 3.763, 3.764, 3.765, 3.766, 3.767, 3.768, 3.769 and finally 3.77. Now we have to check our given number is there or not. 3.765 after the decimal 3 digit. Of course here after the decimal 3 digits are there. We have to check where is the position of our given number 3.765. So here 3.765 is located. So this is the position of 3.765. So hope it is clear. In successive magnification we used 1, 2, 3, 4 steps to represent 3.765. Next we shall discuss question number 2. Visualize 4.26 bar on the number line up to 4 decimal places. Here 4.26 bar, it is a non-terminating repeating decimal, means 0.26. That means the digit 2 and 6 are repeating periodically. So we have to represent this number up to 4 decimal places, means 4.2626 we have to take. So let's expand the given number, that is 4.26 bar is equal to 4.262626 etc. Here the digits 2 and 6 are repeating periodically. So from here we need only 4 digits, that is 2626. That is 4.26 up to 4 decimal places is equal to 4.2626. Here we have to represent this number on the number line. It is quite clear that 4.2626 lies between 4 and 5. So here I am avoiding the first step, means in the previous question we have drawn a number line and we have plotted negative numbers, 0 and positive numbers. That step I have avoided here because it is quite clear for us that 4.2626 lies between 4 and 5. So let's draw a number line and mark 4 and 5 and will divide the space between 4 and 5 into 10 equal pieces. Please note that simply if you are drawing a line and dividing it into 10 pieces, it will not work out. So you have to draw a line, maybe for example 10 centimeter line you may draw, and then you will divide this 10 centimeter line into 10 equal pieces, means 1 centimeter each you will take and you will divide the points in between the 4 and 5 and will mark the rest of the points. So that may be the procedure. Simply if you draw a line and marking the points, it will not work out. So let's draw a line and mark 4 and 5, and the space between 4 and 5 is divided into 10 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And since the number starts from 4, the next digit should be 4.1, next is 4.2, next is 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, 4.9 and 5. So next we need 4.2626. Of course this is the number we have to mark, means 4.2626 is lies between 4.2 and 4.3. So that's we have located. 4.2 and 4.3 are the numbers. 4.2626 lies between 4.2 and 4.3. So next you have to draw a number line and you have to starting number you have to write 4.2 and the ending number you have to write 4.3. So we have written here 4.2 and 4.3, and the space between 4.2 and 4.3 we have divided into 10 pieces, equal pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So starting number is 4.2. So the next number should be 4.21. Next is 22, 4.23, 4.24, 4.25, 4.26, 4.27, 4.28, 4.29 and finally 4.3. So next is just locate where is the position of 4.2626. Means it is quite clear that 4.2626 lies between 4.26 and 4.27, because here starting two digits we know 4.26, here it is represented 4.26. So our number 4.2626 must be in between 4.26 and 4.27. So in the next line what we have to do is we have to represent 4.26 and 4.27 in the beginning and end, that is 4.26 we have started in the beginning, we have marked, and 4.27 we have marked at the last. Then we have to divide the space between 4.26 and 4.27 into 10 equal pieces, that is 4.261, 4.262, 263, 264, 265, 266, 267, 268, 269. Means now up to 3 decimal places we have marked. Again we have to check 4.2626. Where is the position? So 262 is the first 3 digits. Here 262 is here. 262, 4.262 means our number 4.2626 is in between 4.262 and 4.263. So we have located again the endpoints. So let's mark it again on the number line, these 2 points, and we will divide 4.262 starting and ending is 4.263, and we have divided into 10 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. We have started our number with 4.262. So the next digit should be 2621. Next is 4.2622. 4.2623. Next is 2624. Next is 2625. Next is 0.2626. 0.2627, and next one is 0.2628, and finally 4.2629. So we have divided all the points. Next is, it is just check, we have to check 4.2626. Where is the position of 4.2626? So from the diagram it is quite clear. 4.2626 is visible here. So this is the position of 4.2626. So let's mark it. So the position of 4.2626 is finally found. Next, we shall discuss exercise 1.5. The first question. Question is, classify the following numbers as rational or irrational. The first number given to us is 2 minus root 5. So here it is quite clear that 2 is rational and root 5 is irrational. Means rational minus irrational. We know that rational minus irrational is irrational. So again root 5 also irrational. So 2 minus root 5, that is rational number, minus irrational number is an irrational number. That's why 2 minus root 5 is an irrational number. Next question, 3 plus root 23 minus root 23. So here little bit of calculation we have to do. The given number is equal to, just remove the bracket, 3 plus root 23 minus root 23. Here root 23 and minus root 23 can be cancelled, opposite signs. So final answer we will get 3. So this 3 we can write it as 3 by 1. This is in the form P by Q. Therefore the given number is a rational number. So which is in the form P by Q and it is a rational number. Means 3 plus root 23 minus root 23 is a rational number. Third question, 2 root 7 divided by 7 root 7. Here also little bit of calculation is there. 2 root 7 divided by 7 root 7. This root 7 and root 7 we can cancel it. Finally we will get as 2 by 7. This is also in the form P by Q. Therefore the given number is a rational number. Next we shall discuss question number 4. The question is 1 divided by root 2. Here 1 is a rational number and root 2 is an irrational number. Means rational number divided by irrational number. So we know that rational divided by irrational is always irrational. Means 1 by root 2 is an irrational number. Next is question number 5, 2 pi. Here also 2 is a rational number and pi, we know that pi is irrational. So a rational number into irrational number. So we know that rational into irrational is again irrational. So 2 pi is an irrational number. Next question number 2. The question is 3 plus root 3 into 2 plus root 2. We have to simplify this one. So just like algebraic expression how we have to remove the bracket, same way we have to do here also. That is 3 plus root 3 into 2 plus root 2 is equal to, first with 3 we have to multiply the second bracket. Again with root 3 we have to multiply the second bracket. That is 3 into this 3 into 2 plus root 2 plus root 3 into this 2 plus root 2. Again here we have to remove the bracket, that is 3 into 2, that is 6. 3 into root 2, that is 3 root 2. Again here root 3 into 2, when you order it, that is 2 root 3 plus root 3 into root 2, that is root 6. So here there is no more calculation, just to keep as it is, because 3 root 2, 2 root 3, we cannot do anything, just to keep as it is. Next one is 3 plus root 3 into 3 minus root 3. This is in the form a plus b into a minus b. We have studied the formula. A plus b into a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. Means here a is 3 here, that is 3 square minus b is root 3. So root 3 the whole square. So 3 square is 9, root 3 the whole square is 3. So 9 minus 3 is equal to 6. So 6 is the answer. Next we shall discuss question number 3, that is root 5 plus root 2 the whole square. This is in the format a plus b the whole square. Let's recall the formula for a plus b the whole square, that is a square plus 2ab plus b square. Here root 5 plus root 2 the whole square is equal to a is root 5 and b is root 2. So a square, that is root 5 square, plus 2ab, that is 2 into root 5 into root 2, plus b square, that is root 2 square. Go for calculation. Root 5 square is 5 plus 2 into root 5 into root 2. We can write it as root 10. 5 and 2 together you can multiply, plus root 2 the whole square is 2. Here 5 and 2 we can add, that is 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 2 root 10. So this is the answer, but you cannot add 7 plus 2 root 10. So you have to keep this as the answer. Question number 4. Root 5 minus root 2 into root 5 plus root 2. This is in the form a minus b into a plus b. Similar one question we have done before. So this question you will do it as homework. Question number 3. That is, recall pi is defined as the ratio of the circumference, say c, of a circle to its diameter, say d. That is, pi is equal to c by d. This seems to contradict the fact that pi is irrational. How will you resolve this contradiction? Actually, this question before some of you were asked as doubt, because when we were explaining about irrational numbers, we have studied that pi is irrational. And some of you asked that time pi value is 22 by 7. Why it is coming like that? 22 by 7 is rational and we are studying pi as irrational. Why this contradiction comes? The same question is asked here also. How will you resolve this contradiction? It is quite simple. Here, with a scale or tape, we get only an approximate rational number as a result of our measurement. For example, the definition of pi is ratio of circumference by the diameter of the circle. Means for measuring the circumference and the diameter we may use tape or scale, and we get only an approximate rational number, not an accurate value. When we measure we will get an approximate value. So that is why pi can be approximately represented as quotient of two rational numbers. So this is the approximate value, that is circumference of circle divided by its diameter. That is considered as the approximate value, because when we are using tape or scale, we are getting the approximate measurements. But as a matter of mathematical truth, it is irrational. So pi is considered as irrational, and that is a mathematical truth as well. So here the contradiction is resolved here. Pi is equal to c by d, that is circumference of circle by the diameter, that is approximate value. And as a mathematical truth, we will accept pi is irrational and pi is equal to c by d is rational. So for more explanation and visualization of this concept, you can use this YouTube link and watch the video which is uploaded there. Next, we shall discuss question number 4. Represent root 9.3 on a number line. Take your ruler and draw a line segment of length 9.3 centimeter. And label it as A and B. and from B extend the length of AB 1 centimeter. Means from B you have to draw again 1 centimeter forward and label it as C. Then bisect AC means take more than half of length of AC at C as center, draw one arc up and one arc down, and using the same radius and A as center, cut the arcs. Then by using the ruler, join the point of intersection of both the arcs. And label the midpoint as M, means M is the midpoint of AC. And with M as center and AM as radius, draw a semicircle. Again, by using your compass at B, construct an angle 90 degree. For that, with any radius and B as center, draw an arc. And using the same radius, if you cut the arc, that is 60 degree. And again from 60 degree, by using the same radius, if you cut, you will get 120 degree. Then if you bisect 120 and 60, you will get 90 degree. Join the point of intersection of the arc and the point B on the line which you have drawn. Now the perpendicular from B is drawn, so angle B is 90 degrees marked. Again, extend the line segment AC up to any length. And label the point P and take BP as the radius and B as center. Draw an arc from P to the line segment which you have drawn. And the meeting point is marked as D. And the length of BD is root of 9.3 centimeter. Next, we shall discuss question number 5. The question is rationalize the denominators of the following. Here there is a new term for you, that is rationalize or rationalization. So let's see what it is. Rationalization means rationalization is converting an irrational number into a rational number. Here rationalize the denominators means denominator will be irrational, so you have to convert that irrational to rational. That's what the process. Here, to rationalize the denominator of 1 divided by root of a plus b, you have to take the conjugate of root of a plus b. I repeat, the conjugate of root of a plus b. Conjugate of root of a plus b means root of a minus b. Conjugate means just take the opposite sign. Here plus is there means you have to take minus. Here minus is there means you have to take the plus. Then by using that you have to multiply it, that is conjugate. Here it is root of a minus b, so you have to multiply root a minus b by root a minus b. Actually root a minus b by root a minus b is 1. So for making our denominator rational, just multiply the conjugate of this one, that is root a minus b, in the numerator and denominator, where a and b are integers. So this is a theory part. When you do the practical calculations, it will be getting more clarity. That first question is 1 divided by root 7. Here the denominator is having only a single term inside the root, that is root 7. Not like this one. Here there are two terms are there. Here there is only a single term. If a single term is there means it is quite easy. Just to take the same term, multiply it in the numerator and denominator. That is multiply and divide by root 7. Means the same term what is there in the denominator. That is 1 by root 7 into, we are multiplying the denominator, same denominator, that is root 7 into the numerator and into the denominator. Now 1 into root 7, that is equal to root 7 divided by root 7 into root 7. Root 7 into root 7 is 7. Now denominator, when you check, it is only 7. So 7 is a rational number. Before it was an irrational number, now it became rational. So rationalization is over. Once again, denominator is having only square root of a single number, means take that number and multiply it in the numerator and denominator. That is the process. Next question, 1 divided by root 5 minus root 6. Here when you check the denominator, here root 7 and root 6 both are irrationals, and root 7 minus root 6 also an irrational number. Here there are two terms, so you have to take the conjugate of root 7 minus root 6. Here there is no conjugate because only a single term. Here there are two terms are there, root 7 minus root 6. So we have to go for the conjugate, that is opposite of this one, that is root 7 plus root 6. We have to multiply and divide. That is 1 divided by root 7 minus root 6. That is our question. Then we have to multiply the conjugates. Root 7 plus root 6 in the numerator, root 7 plus root 6 in the denominator. Then numerator, when you check, 1 into root 7 plus root 6, same quantity, root 7 plus root 6 will come. Denominator, when you check, root 7 minus root 6 into root 7 plus root 6. Here a minus b into a plus b. We have learned before, that is a minus b into a plus b is a square minus b square. So when you combine together, 1 into root 7 plus root 6 is root 7 plus root 6. Here just arrange it, root 7 minus root 6 into root 7 plus root 6 in the format a minus b into a plus b. So let's recall a minus b into a plus b, that is a square minus b square. Numerator as it is, there is no other calculation, root 7 plus root 6, a minus b into a plus b. So a square is root 7 square, minus b square is root 6 square. Then root 7 plus root 6 divided by root 7 square is 7 minus root 6 square is 6. So 7 minus 6. That is equal to root 7 plus root 6 divided by 7 minus 6 is 1. So next we shall discuss question number 3, that is 1 divided by root 5 plus root 2. Here the denominator is root 5 plus root 2. Root 5 is irrational, root 2 is also irrational, root 5 plus root 2 is also irrational. So we have to rationalize this denominator. Here multiply and divide by root 5 minus root 2. We have to take the conjugate of root 5 plus root 2, that is opposite sign is the conjugate, that is root 5 minus root 2 we have to take, and we have to multiply and divide in the numerator and denominator. That is 1 divided by root 5 plus root 2 is equal to, just multiply and divide root 5 minus root 2. Root 5 minus root 2 into root 5 minus root 2. This root 5 minus root 2 is called the conjugate of root 5 plus root 2. Then let's go for a little bit of arrangement. 1 into root 5 minus root 2, that is root 5 minus root 2 only. Denominator root 5 plus root 2 into root 5 minus root 2. Let's keep the brackets. Then denominator is in the form a plus b into a minus b. We know that a plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. So by using a square minus b square, we have to expand the denominator. That is root 5 minus root 2. The numerator is same. A plus b into a minus b, that is a square minus b square. Here a is root 5, b is root 2. So a square, that is root 5 square minus b square. B square is root 2 square. That is root 5 minus root 2 divided by root 5 square is 5, root 2 square is 2. That is equal to root 5 minus root 2 divided by 5 minus 2 is 3. Now when you check the denominator is rational. And before it was irrational. Root 5 plus root 2, before it was irrational. After rationalization, the denominator becomes rational. Next question, question number 4, 1 divided by root 7 minus 2. So this question you will do it as homework. Next, we shall discuss the exponential representation for irrational numbers. Exponential representation means writing it a to the power something. In exponential representations, there will be a base and there will be a power, like a power n. A is the base and n is the power. Here, if a greater than 0 and n is a positive integer, then nth root of a is equal to a power 1 by n. Here, n is here. When you write it as a power, it comes as 1 by n. So, nth root of a is equal to a power 1 by n. Let's consider some examples. Square root of 3, we can write it as, this is the base, 3 power square root, we can write it as power 1 by 2. Next example, cube root of 4 means base is 4 here, 4 power, here 3 is there, it will come here as 1 by 3. So what comes here, just to take the reciprocal and write it as the power. Okay, here in case of square root, nothing else is there. So we write it as 1 by 2. This is a starting one, 1 by 2. Then cube root means 3 will be here. When you write it as a power, you have to write it as 1 by 3. Next, fifth root of 7. In the sense, 7 power, what comes here is 5. You have to take the reciprocal, that is 1 divided by 5. 7 power 1 by 5 is the exponential form. Here 7 is the base and 1 by 5 is the exponent. You have studied some laws of exponents in previous years. So just let's recall those laws. The first one is a power m into a power n, that is equal to a power m plus n. Here the bases are same, a. Then we have to add the powers m plus n. Next is a power m, the whole power n is equal to just multiply m and n, that is a power m into n. Next is a power m divided by a power n is equal to, here division and the bases are same, so you have to subtract the powers, that is a power m minus n. Next is a power m into b power m. Here bases are different, a and b are different, but the powers are same. So we can write it as ab the whole power m. Next is 1 divided by a power n is equal to, this a power n we can bring to the numerator as a power minus 1. So these are the laws of exponents you have studied. Once again, a power m into a power n is equal to a power m plus n. A power m the whole power n is equal to a power mn. A power m divided by a power n is equal to a power m minus n. A power m into b power m is equal to ab the whole power m. 1 divided by a power n is equal to a power minus n. So these laws of exponents you have to revise and keep so that the next exercise will be easy for you. My dear students, in today's session we have learned how to represent real numbers on a number line, and also we have learned how to rationalize the denominators. Hope it is clear for you all. If you have any doubt, please note and keep. We will discuss it during the online session. Thank you for watching.